Dallas Flyfisher here. I'd like to quickly go over the electronic speed controller card available from hobbyparts.com. This card is used to program your electronic speed controllers. Please make sure that you order the appropriate card for your speed controllers. They offer 3 different versions, and depending on the speed controller you have to have the appropriate card. I happen to be using the Hobby Wing speed controller here. I believe this card also works for the Volcano series. The advantage of this card is that you don't have to go through the long drawn out and sometimes confusing programming method used for your controller off of your transmitter using your control sticks. That can be confusing, and sometimes you're not always sure exactly what you're getting because you have to follow a series of beeps and a flowchart to get that done. This is very intuitive, user-friendly, and well worth the $8 that you spend on it. So quickly, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go over the features of this card. First, what you'll see is the BEC, that's the battery eliminator circuit. This is used off of your electronic speed controller that has BEC functionality. The BATT is for a battery that you're using on your receiver. Don't connect anything other than a 6-volt or less battery to this, or you will blow out the card. Down the line here we have the brake, battery type, cutoff type, cutoff voltage, start mode, timing mode, your music mode, and your governor mode. Now, I don't have a governor or use for a governor, so I'm not going to use this feature. Along the bottom you have the push buttons, which allow you to scroll up and down through the menu. You have a side to side, which lets you scroll across your parameter selection. You have a load default, which sets your ESC back to the default settings. And you have an OK button. When you push the OK button, that sends the data to the programming card. I'm sorry, to your ESC, and that programs your ESC. So what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to take this, I'm going to connect the programming card. Please note that I've already got the connector for my electronic speed controller inserted in the card. Make sure you check your polarity. This must be done in this order. If you try to connect the battery first and then the speed controller, it will not work. So I'll go ahead and I'll connect up my battery. What you're going to see now is the lights are going to light up. Now that the lights have all lit up, basically in this particular order, what you're going to see is my brake is set to off. You can turn your brake on for folding props if you want to get to a specific altitude, hit your throttle stick down to the low position. It'll basically break the motor. Sometimes your folding props need that feature. You have battery type. In my case, I'm using the LiPo. You have the cutoff type. Basically, in my case, I use soft cutoff because I use propellers. A hard cutoff might be another advantage if you're using sailplanes and you get to the altitude, your maximum battery capacity. Then it does a hard cutoff to just stop the motor and let your prop fold up as well. You have your voltage cutoff. This is set on high in my case. For LiPos, it's 2.6 volts on low cutoff. On medium cutoff, it goes to 2.85 volts. And on high cutoff, it goes to 3.1 volts. Most LiPo batteries suggest you don't discharge below 3 volts per cell. This is done on a per cell average. So I set mine on high because I want to make sure that my per cell average cuts off at 3.1 volts. I don't want to go any lower. If one cell's at 3.1, one other cell may be at 3 or possibly even 2.9. So I always set mine on high. The start mode is set to normal. You'd want to use soft or very soft in helicopter applications because obviously you don't want your rotor just to fire right up and spin. You want it to gradually gain its RPMs. The next one is timing mode. You can set it for low for 2-pole type motors. You set it for high for 6-pole motors, and you can set it to, medium for 6-pole motors and high for high-speed applications such as electric ducted fan motors. You have music. In this case, mine is set to the theme or the theme song from the Bad News Bears. You have 16 different songs that you can program on this card, and it's basically a series or combination of lights that tells you what to do. And then governor is set to off. Obviously, I don't use the governor. So what I'd like to do real quick is I'd like to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to quickly change something. First, what you want to do is you want to push your up-down button what that's going to do is, as you can see at the top there, I'm getting a flashing light. That's for my brake. I can go down the menu and select whichever one I want. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this to a hard cutoff. So I'm going to scroll down to the cutoff. I will then move over to the left right arrows. You see that the LED moved over to the cutoff, which is a hard cutoff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the OK button. You'll see this LED light's going to start blinking. Okay, that's a blue LED. That's blinking. That's sending the information to speed controller. And I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but the music's playing too to entertain you while it's finished. Once that light stops blinking, your electronic speed controller is set. So, with that said, I wanted to thanks hobbyparts.com. I ordered this by accident. My order had already shipped with their awesome shipping service. So what I did is I went ahead and took the card, and I'm glad I did, because this really is a heck of a lot easier than going through the flow chart, which is on the ESC. So once again, I hope this helps you beginners out. If you don't have one of these cards, I'd highly suggest you get it. There's no question what your parameters are set up on your electronic speed controller. This is a really nice little product that they have. And for the $8 that you get, that you pay for this, it's well worth the investment.